We got probably Verizon, I think. I don't know. I don't know who does them.
Balan and Ron Balana from ETG. He's real good. That's who I had. That's the executive phone.
From Erie Zone Government Access, Channel 9, from the City Hall Council Chambers, it's time once again for the Taxpayers Hotline Show. And now, ladies and gentlemen, your host.
Uh-oh. What was that?
I was like this.
Well, we have DJ here.
Hi.
We have Kaz Kwiatkowski, the councilman, and
Mel Hines, known as Major Mel.
Major Mel. There you
Major
go.
Mel.
So we have a wide variety of people here. So let's see if we get some phone calls. Hey, I keep hearing people go, hey, I watch the show. So I told them, you got to call up, though.
They forget. You know, I tried to watch this show a few times, and I always forget. It's on Mondays, and I would turn it into Tuesday or Wednesdays, and you're not there, but it's a rerun. So I'm saying, oh, they're on there now.
We also have to tell the people that, and I got a lot of phone calls about this, that they switched our channel.
I was going to say they're changing the channel.
It's not on 2 no more, right? What is it?
Well, we here it used to be Channel 9. In some boxes, like the small digital boxes, people will still be 9. But on the new digital boxes, you're going to be 1024, I believe.
Oh, so there still is a 9 on some of the boxes.
On some of they're switching it all over at some point. There won't be any more 9. But some people are going to find it on 9, but most people are going to find it on 10. I think it's 1024.
So
it's a big
1024, right? So if you know, I know we can't talk to people that don't have it because they can't find it.
They can't find us.
So if you know anybody out there, you know, kindly tell them.
If they call in, tell them if you plug your TV into the cable, you're not going to get TV anymore. They cut it all. They cut it.
No love for that company, and I'm not going to slam them in front of a lot of people.
I'm not going to slam, but boy, did I get the phone calls this week.
Oh yeah, it's been a pain.
They're not friendly. They're not friendly to you at all. When I had Time Warner, you know, they raised the bill a couple of times, and I was all right with that. Everybody needs a little raise, but you know, I figured, well, okay. Mm-hmm. But when they come in like gangbusters. My bill went from I was paying because I have internet, I had a phone line, I didn't have the best cable TV package. You had the extended basic. I had no movie channels, no nothing.
Yeah. And
I was paying like $163. When they came in, it went up to $231. Then a month later, I called and griped about it. Then it went back down to like $219. And then the following month, it went back up again and it went to $260 something. So what they did, they just tacked on the.
Yeah, they don't like to negotiate.
They don't want to negotiate. No. And I said, well, I'm out of here.
They don't have Lifeline cable anymore either. They used to have Lifeline, which was like $20, and you'd get like 23 channels. No, just done. No more.
All right, here we go.
Yeah, let's do this.
Go ahead, caller.
I found you.
Yeah, good.
Hey, where are we?
1024.
1024.
Yeah, we see the calls I got, John, honestly.
Rolls right off the tongue, doesn't it? Yeah, we're channel 1024.
If people were calling me, where are you? We can't find you. And I'm going, I was surprised too. So I had this little piece of paper they gave me that you need a magnifying glass.
Yeah.
Magnifying glasses.
Yeah, you can't hardly see the numbers on it.
Yeah, it's unbelievable, isn't it?
Yeah. But you know what, John? They don't care.
No, they get the franchise fee and everything else, and
people ask me, he said, why don't you get another company to come in? And I said, look, I talked to Comcast this week. They were in town on a convention.
They won't split.
Well, they won't tell you directly, but
part of Comcast.
They all got gentlemen's agreements, though. You know, if you're going to get like we don't have Time Warner technically, we got Spectrum now.
But you're still Time Warner.
Yeah, but see, if you were to get their operation, let's say, you know, it gets complicated. And first of all, the cities really don't control it no more. I mean, they love it when we set up a exclusivity, but really, they don't need us.
Yeah. What are you doing with the franchise money?
Well, that goes in our general budget.
Why don't you give it to the guy next to you?
Who's that? Oh,
buddy DJ.
That is, look, I will tell you, and DJ will tell you the same thing. That's the
guy on the 5th floor had a wet dream.
We tried to get it back in last year, a little bit more, because I'll tell you the truth. Cat TV's done a great job trying to make up for the lost revenue. But a previous council, not the one I was on, when we renegotiated as a group, we renegotiated as Mill Creek Summit. They all got together. They hired an attorney. They went after Time Warner at the time. And they decided that rather than give the money to Cat TV and other endeavors, the city decided to keep it. I have tried to get a little bit more release, but to be truthful, it takes 5 votes. So.
Well, maybe when we get a new administration down there, we'll have some with vision and not back thoughts.
Yeah, well, it takes 4 votes. I'm sorry, not 5, but it takes 4 votes, and we almost had it last year again. But here's the thing. It's kind of like penny wise and pound foolish.
Yeah,
so we took away the money from them. So when they broadcast any of their events now, we got to pay them. And I'm going,
charge them enough.
Well, years ago they used to do a lot of stuff for us for free.
We did everything for free for the past 15 years.
And and managed to keep your operation going.
Yeah.
But the public has got to, public's got to get a little more vocal.
Well, that's true there.
I mean, I'm in favor of giving them more money now, but
Talk about being vocal. I have a couple of serious questions for you.
Everything you have is serious, John.
Believe it. Hey, all the calls that come into City Hall recorded.
Are all the ones recorded?
Yes.
I couldn't answer that. If you go to the police department, they are.
Yeah, well, the complaint department, I called.
Does it beep? That's when I never listen. Does it beep when you're talking?
When you when you answered, no. But I called the streets department. Actually, I called the engineering department. When
Right.
they cut 42nd Street, they left about a 6-inch lip.
I know.
Cars coming up or slamming into
Where's
it.
that?
So I called there and I got a transfer to some guy, Mike, in the engineering department.
Okay.
Get a hold of the street superintendent.
What street is that, John?
42nd and
Lake Pleasant Road and what is the other one? Wayne?
Fargo.
In that area too. But I know somebody on 42nd and Lake Pleasant that wrecked their car. They didn't realize that the
Is it the
road was
difference
off.
between the what we did in the state?
What they did, they really tore it up and he had like a 5 or 8 inch gap when he pulled in the driveway. It was dark outside and he slammed the whole front end of his car. It was like $2,100 in his own driveway. They didn't overfill it.
So
for him.
what, John? Give me the things I can check on. You're saying it's
Called the engineering department. I talked to a guy by the name of Mike, and he said he had the street superintendent take a look, and nothing happened. So I called the police department the next day, and I got some nice officer. He copied everything down, and he said he would contact the streets department and have them address it. Well, they addressed it that very afternoon.
They did?
Yes, and I want to thank him, and
Oh,
they're
okay.
doing a great job. Maybe people should call the streets or the police department, on emergency line to get things done down there.
He shouldn't have to, though.
Well, no, they should have taken it. And of course, I want to blame Mayor Brothers. He's the one up here.
Well, I'll tell you what, I don't even want to talk about Mayor Brothers.
Well,
They just got down my road, but I've never seen a more arrogant bunch of people in my life.
I'm getting to that. They're up here doing paving, right?
Right.
So they blocked off 41st to 42nd on Page with cones and a sign. What happens to the 10 people that live on that block?
Well, I found out the other day, they tell me I'm a crybaby, I complain. But what happened to me was, they're doing my road, right?
Yeah.
And God bless them, but...
Sure, because you put in a pool.
But they keep... No, I don't have no pool. They came Sunday, okay? And they never told us on Saturday that they were coming back on Sunday. Well, they had it marked on the sign, but 6 o'clock in the morning, they're already starting to park their vehicles in the field next to me. 7 o'clock, I get up because I had we had the League of Cities in town, okay?
Yeah.
And plus, I do a radio show on Sunday. I had to get out of there, and they basically told me I wasn't leaving until like 5 o'clock. Now, that was all bogus because by 12, people were speeding down the road. But why didn't you tell me the day before so I could have got out of there? Then he said, well, you'll have to park somewhere else. I go, wait, you know what? On Stanley Avenue, there is no place to park.
No.
You're not going to park on Pine Avenue, and you're not going to park on East 38th Street with the construction. There are no businesses you can park in, and I really don't think Break Iron Jewelers or other people are going to love it when you're parking your neighborhood cars in there.
Right.
I just, look, You could have told me nicely. I would have helped them. I would have gone down the block. And I did have a couple of neighbors complain to me that couldn't get out that, hey, you know what? Some people got to work on Sunday, or some people might have had football tickets to the big game in Cleveland or Pittsburgh, and you have to get out of there by 10 o'clock so basically I spent the morning and,
trying to get out of there.
I didn't get out. So, it's a good thing somebody covered for me at the station and all that.
I would have went right out like I did here this morning.
Well, you couldn't have. John, what they did, they put the oil down.
Well, see, they're not.
And you know what I would have had? I would have had a nice car full of oil.
They're not paving my road. They're paving the crossroad.
Yeah. So, I mean, a lot of people weren't happy, right?
A lot of people weren't happy with this deal down here. The one guy says you want them to move the cones, move them yourself. It's pouring rain.
Yeah, I've never seen a group like Mayor Brothers that have been so, and I don't care if they listen to me right now.
They're very arrogant.
Yes, they are. I've never, our guys were real nice. We had our guys on the scene, and they tried to help out, but
bent over backwards, that whole crew up there.
I'll tell you what, I'm going to think long and hard about ever awarding a contract to Mayor Brothers.
Well, here's the thing, Kaz. That's what I want to bring up. Good point. The trouble is when the thing is put out for bid, they're going to have to sit down with these people or have somebody from administration and somebody from the streets department, somebody who knows how the day-to-day operations, how the road works. When they do a section, and it's not going to cost them anymore. I don't want to hear it's going to cost too much to do it this way. All right, today we're going to work on East 38th between McClellan and East Avenue. Okay, that's what I want you to do today. You're going to tear it up. You're going to do what you have to do to patch it, but I want a binder coat put down immediately after that. Then I want you to mark every manhole in that before you leave the scene, and by no later than 2 days, I want that repaved again. I want the paving down. This baloney of ripping the street up here and ripping the street up down there, or ripping on the west side, and it wasn't bad this year. A couple of years back, man, it was terrible. You were dodging the potholes. A lot of cars with broken suspension.
What made it bad for us? They
have too many jobs. They're jumping from job to job to keep it going. I remember once on Balboa, I ripped my whole exhaust system out, and McCormick was the contractor. I went down and I talked to Mr. Villala with solicitor's office, and he said, contact McCormick. They're doing the repair. If they don't do it, contact me again, and the city will pay for the damages.
Well, I know they have a tough job, but some of these guys look like they weren't happy. They didn't want to be there on the weekend. Well, look, I didn't tell you to come down the weekend, but at the same time,
It's time now because it's going to get the asphalt factory's going to close pretty soon. The asphalt factory's going to close pretty soon.
Yeah, but you got indecision when you tell people. Like a couple of my neighbors that had to get out they never really told me. One guy found out because he tried to come through the barricade, but.
Yeah, they're not too happy with you.
I'm not going to run my brand new car through wet oil.
No.
No, that's true. It's ridiculous. They got to get some plan together or work completely at night times, waive that little noise ordinance for a little bit, and get the job done and get the hell out of there.
Well, I think everybody was happy. When they did the rip up, they did it when everybody was at work. That's okay. You know what I'm saying, John?
Yeah.
And they were you could see them coming down, and even though they were ripping up the street, you could still get out. But when they did the second coat, they made it sound like you can't ride over it. And then, all of a sudden you're figuring, well, how do I get out of here? What if I had to get out of here? What if I had a job?
What happens if a fire or an ambulance had to come through there? It's going to come through there no matter what.
Well, they're going to come through,
right.
But for the average person, come on, then the guy told me, he said, well, I tried to find everybody. My door was wide open all afternoon.
Yeah.
And I was the one that was busting his hump a little bit. So he should have known that, you could have come, I would have walked down the block with him. I know my neighbors. Most of them are okay because, a lot of them are, like the college kids don't care. They just sleep in for the day. But some of the people, really had to get out.
Yeah.
Well, you have a good one. At least you got a show that's going to be moving a little bit today. And I'm praying for my Brooklyn Bombers.
I pray that they lose, John.
We didn't lose yesterday.
No, you know what? We got to give you one. But, hey. 1 foot more, John. 1 foot more. And if that guy's 1 inch less in height.
If Girardi opened his mouth the other day, that would have been a different game.
Hey, John.
He got hit the end of the bat, and I don't know what's wrong with Girardi. I think it's time for a replacement.
Hey, John, if Judge is 1 inch less in height, and Lindor's got 1 more foot on that ball,
Now,
we're not even talking this morning about your comeback.
he's a very good rookie. What ruined him was going to the home run derby. It screwed all his timing and everything up.
Yep.
It took him, 4 weeks, 5 weeks to get readjusted. So, hey, that's life. So, have a great day.
You guys should, forget about another championship. You had 27. Ain't that enough for you?
Look at Boston up in Beantown. They're back in.
I don't like them either. New York and Boston, I think they should
I don't like them either.
kick them out of the league. You guys got enough championships.
All I know about Boston is who's your daddy.
See you, John.
Nice guy. Guys like that we need calling more often.
Well, he used to give me tips, and dang if they weren't on.
Yeah,
I don't know where the sources are, but I don't care.
Those old timers know what they're doing. They know what they're doing.
He's not so old, though.
Well, not old, but I mean older people. Let's put it that way. I got a question for you. And, I've worked for you in the private sector, too. When you were city controller, I was your ombudsman and went around checking out complaints for you and all that stuff. But I get complaints all the time about cars sitting on streets that are there for months. And this one particular one, it's a pet peeve of mine. And I don't know who the golden boy is that owns it, but they can't break through you or the police chief or anything else. That car still sits there. And I told you at the beginning of the summer, it sat there all winter. It's got 4 flat tires. It's had tickets on it. What does it take to have a car towed away around here?
We'll go down there after we're done here.
I want to talk to the chief. This is ridiculous.
Yeah.
It sits there with 4 flat tires like it, and they said, don't they care? And I said, well, there's more important things, but I agree with you. It is getting a little ridiculous. It's right on the end of a corner.
Well, yeah, when they sit there all, that's considered, it's considered blight in a way.
They put tickets on. There was a stack of tickets on it like that.
So they did their job.
Everybody's did their job that I could see.
See, our problem is we know we don't have the resources to boot.
Right.
Like you got to have so much money or so many fines, so many tickets to boot it. But that should be an easy boot.
And another thing, I try to mind my own business, but when because I'm a committee man in my area, and they know I know people and that, and I just happen to listen to complaints. I've did it all my life and try to help people.
Has he got a lot of tickets, that car?
Well, it's gone now. I looked at it today, but there was a stack of them like that.
I mean, the tickets are gone.
Tickets are gone today.
But the car's still there.
Car's still there with 4 flat tires.
Well, let's go down and check, see what hasn't been booted yet.
Okay, all right.
But hey, how about those other 2 roads? Are they still there? The ones that were like bumpy, the driveways, or have they been taken care of?
Well, the one the man very well, and he's being compensated for it. They did pay for it because.
But did they fix it though?
To my knowledge, I would say it's on the mend. Let's put it that way. It's not totally done. They made it right though, so it wouldn't happen again. I mean, this poor guy, he has a decent car. He had a 2011 car, a Buick, and he come in his driveway and he didn't even realize. He knew they were going to do the road, but there was no markings or nothing. He's driving, and all of a sudden he goes kapoom.
When they did our road, they at least told the people.
The whole front end. There was like $1,200 worth of damage plus labor.
When they did our street, they did try to accommodate everybody, so that the best they could. As leveling it, but some people have driveways that are way below sea level, I call them. There's nothing they can do about them because they weren't brought up to grade even with the old road.
Right.
So they're going to need like a load of gravel. But other ones that were high,
right.
As they brought the new road up,
it came up.
They did.
Put something underneath it.
They tried to smooth them, but they only went. They only did up. They didn't take care of your whole driveway.
No,
they tried to help you just
get
enough.
You in there, like it's here, and you get you in there
as much as they could without going nuts. Go ahead, caller.
Hi.
Yes.
Something to say, but I'll say it later on because right now I'm really ticked off at this Spectrum cable.
Oh, you and many others, but.
You need to report what channel you're on, okay? Because a lot of people don't even know what channel they done moved you to.
Yeah, we're on, here's the bad part. We're on 1024, but, we put it on the city website. But if you don't have a computer, that's not going to help you, so.
It should be done by the media, like all the TV stations that cover it should be in a newspaper too.
Yes.
Yeah, I can ask them to do it, but, you would have thought they would have done that. Made a public service announcement.
Spectrum is screwing everybody up.
Yeah, did you get a little white sheet of paper that's so thin you can hardly read the numbers on it?
Right.
That's what they sent to everybody, but try to find anything on there.
Try to figure it out. It's so repetitious. One, you go here, you get this package here. You don't even know
what package you got.
They're just shutting people off, and you can't. I'm just so fed up, and I call them rectum. I don't even call them spectrum, and that's my name for them. They're rectum.
Yeah, we really, we don't have any power over them because we don't have a cable liaison anymore, and they pretty much, with the FCC's blessing now, they can do pretty much what they want.
They left it pretty much wide open.
They want to do.
Yeah, and guess who what? They won't, they got elderly people out there who really can't afford that package.
Right.
They told my mother the other day, she was so hot. Now, I tried to explain to her it's not the cable company, but Major League Baseball, but still it's a cable company too.
Because they have to pay the franchise fee and all
because,
that.
they put one of the games on Major League Baseball, and if you don't have the premium package, you couldn't watch it. And, and people 90 years old and 80 years old, even younger, that's all they got to do sometimes at night.
Yeah, well, let me tell you something what I did, and you can take.
Go, you want to let that lady talk? And then
go ahead.
Ma'am, you got to.
Caller, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I think there should be a petition or something against Spectrum. We need to do something.
I agree with you.
What I'd like to do is I'd like to request they come to council.
Public hearing. And
have a public hearing, but I don't know if we have any. Last time we couldn't even find the guy that was a director around here hardly.
Yeah, well, this is our city, and we're not here to let people come in and do as they please to the people of Erie.
Well, it's not just Erie. If you read the internet, it's Nashville, it's Atlanta.
You're all over. Yeah.
I mean, they are ripping everybody, and
so Erie needs to be the one to step up.
That's right. Amen. I believe in that. That's for sure.
Let a petition going or something, and get rid of them or whatever it takes to do. Okay?
Well, you know what would help, ma'am? If Verizon, and I've tried to talk to them, if they would put their system in,
it's not going to happen. No.
It would. Well, not right away.
No.
If they would put their system in, we would have an alternative. Other than that, you have to stream off TV.
Yeah, and there's Rocco and all that stuff, or Roku or whatever you call it. But there's this new company coming in. I'd rather not mention no names or not. And they're piecemealing it. Whoever gets squeakiest wheel gets the most grease, and they're putting it in different parts of the city. And I understand it's pretty good. I don't know anybody has it yet, but I know the internet's fast. But I don't know about the TV part. They're going to put the TV, so you'll be able to get it off of them too. And they're probably going to run real heavy competition against.
Feel free to have your neighbors talk to us, ma'am.
Yeah, well, I'm just tired of people coming into our town, doing what they want to do, treating us the way they want to treat us, and we're not doing anything about it. Somebody's got to do something about it. We got to have a petition or something.
Yeah, the only thing I think we can do is try to take them and complain to the FCC, but boy, from what I hear from other cities, they've gotten nowhere, and
we'll find out. I know just
one
the person
company
might help
rules
us out.
the country now. Come on.
Yeah.
Something can be done.
It's got to be, but right now the new manager. I read about the new owner. He kind of told everybody we're not in the business of handing out discounts. And I tell you, if you go down to Davison or out to Peach Street, try to argue with him. I tried to argue with my mother's bill. She's a little bit elderly and she can't afford that big bill. They kind of told me that that's sorry, but
that many channels, you're getting less channels. They lied to us.
That's true.
That's
the channels
right.
They give you now are not worth the powder, or they are in there anyhow.
And there should be some kind of rule.
Right. Agree with you 100%.
Just really upset with them right now, and I suggest everybody drop Spectrum and do whatever else you got to do.
And I did already. I was way ahead of the schedule. I went with somebody else, believe me, and I'm very happy. I'm saving money you wouldn't believe. Personally, this is my own personal opinion. I'm not advertising for the company or anything. I went with DirecTV. They give me a beautiful package, and my TV bill come down less or more than half of what I was paying them, and I get more channels. I get 4 boxes that come right with the unit. I get everybody can watch something different. I could record 10 programs, and they were beautiful to me. And at the same time, I dropped Verizon cell phones too, because they were ridiculous too. I wanted some unlimited service on my lines. It was $90 a line. They ended up giving me all new equipment, new phones. They gave me unlimited, no extra charge for unlimited data, and no extra charge for my stuff. And my cell phone bill was cut nearly in half, going with the AT&T. AT&T and DirecTV are the two. They're together. They band together, and they're doing a good job. There's some. Don't get me wrong. There's some problems here and there, but what they do, they take care of it. They're right on it. They don't monkey around with you. And that's just not if you. So you go with the Dish, you go with anybody. If somebody different, that's my opinion. I'm not advertising for any one person, but I'm just trying to explain what I did, and I ended up saving money. I'm very happy with my services.
You say DirecTV. I suggest everybody in Erie go to Direct.
Okay, I agree with you. I could tell you where to go because they're very good. They hired a guy who worked at Radio Shack for 25 years, and he's running their Erie operation now, and he's doing a wonderful job up there, and he'll help you any way he can. And I just
if he can give me Cleveland Cavaliers, I'll switch.
We'll talk to him. I don't know there's something. What is that about that? There's something they won't give you certain packages because of the blackout in the market. We're not in that niche. That's not a good thing.
I get them on this one, but I got to put up with the high bill though.
Yeah, right.
Call you back a little later on.
Okay.
Thank you. Anytime you want, ma'am.
I'm really ticked off.
You should be.
We are too.
All right.
You should hear my phone calls on the weekends. But what were you going to say?
What I was talking about DirecTV and that's the way to go. And everybody thinks, oh, I don't want that dish. Well, I had the Dish Network years ago, and they put it on a wooden pole, and it worked. It was pretty watered down at the time. So I went with, at the time, Time Warner. They gave me a beautiful deal. And after Cablevision left, Time Warner come in, and they really did a lot of work and upgraded. They helped us a lot. But now this new company, I don't know. And DirecTV, the guy was very professional. Go ahead.
I got tons of phone calls, though. I want to say that. It was like ringing off the hook.
Right.
Go ahead, caller.
Got a little suggestion for the people having trouble with their controller for Spectrum.
Yeah.
You can use your box and hit menu and then go to guide, and everything will come up, and you'll be able to see it better than that stupid little paper they sent out.
Oh, say it again, John. You go on
hit menu
on your button. I mean your clicker.
Yeah. On your controller, hit menu, and then go to guide, and you go down and you put it on there through guide, and it'll go through all the channels.
The thing that's weird though is like if you want to know what your package gets, it's pretty hard to even going on their website to figure it out.
Sports FS1 section.
Yeah.
And because I can't get all the games unless they have them, so the FS1 has them. And I talked to the gal from Time Warner this morning, and I had to get this guy. And I said, why can't you use the one I have right now and just put that onto my TV, my controls?
Yeah.
She said that you have to go to Spectrum. So apparently she was with Time Warner, taking the calls.
Yeah. Well, the other day, John, when the Yankees were playing the Indians the first game, remember?
Yeah.
My mother was, the second game I think it was. They put that on Major League Baseball.
Yeah.
And some people can't afford Major League Baseball.
I still don't have FS1. I went to the radio station and listened to it on the radio.
I know, but see, why do we, when you think about it, boy,
why shouldn't we get what we need?
I mean, you got to, you can't buy a la carte anymore, so.
Yeah,
it's amazing how they got control over this. And Major League Baseball is just as bad as football.
Well, sure they are. I mean, when they did that with that Indian Yankee game, that was a disservice to a lot of people. You know that?
It was. I want a certain comeback or outcome, but still, it should be wide open like it used to be years ago.
Yeah, you know what? It's like even now at the NFL, they got the NFL channel and they got pay-per-view.
They got a channel for everything. Even I got
unless you want
in my car, it's that way.
Big dollars for it, it's senseless.
Yeah, then they did what? I like British soccer, and I still can't figure this out. But I think what they did now was when Time Warner had it, you get the premium game on NBC. You get another one on NBC Sports, okay, John?
Yeah, and you get one on Fox.
Well, yeah, but then they put the rest of the games, like the ones that weren't very interesting, they put them on what they called their overflow section at the end.
Yeah.
Now there's nothing on there, I don't think. So now you got to buy something called NBC Gold. Just like CBS now, they got the CBS Access. Yeah, if you want to watch...
watch on your tablet, I know, I saw
the one with... about the lawyer, what was her name?
The Good Wife?
The Good Wife. Now they got you can watch the new show, but you got to spend extra bucks now to get CBS All Access.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, they're driving people nuts,
Yes, they are. And, pretty soon the wall's going to run dry and everybody's going to say, see ya.
Well, what the kids tell me, and I'm not good at this, but they're good at streaming but if, it all depends what you want. Like you and I may want sports. We can't stream everything, No,
because a lot of it's locked up. A lot of it, you got to have a very, very dedicated and a very high-speed internet. A lot of people don't have it. or don't realize what they have, and they don't know how to operate it, because you can go overboard too with it too.
Put it on your phone, but
Right.
you got to have Wi-Fi, and you got to go
right.
all around the corners to get it. And
We tried to negotiate the last contract. I wasn't on council, but I remember the negotiations, and I was privy to, talking with Jessica and them where we were handling it. They tried everything in the world to, get something out of these companies.
you're running into a wall.
Yeah, because the rules have changed since when we awarded the old contracts.
Yep.
They can do whatever they want now. Basically, it's like people say, well, New York City has 2. That's New York City.
Well, you know where you're...
They're not gonna put 2 in our city.
The real blame is in Washington Street in Washington.
Yeah.
Pennsylvania Avenue, where Congress is. Their FCC, those guys are getting so much money from kickbacks, it's unbelievable.
Well, yeah, that cable industry's,
Payola.
yeah. I mean, they got gentlemen's agreements. They might, if you're in Philly or New York, you might have options, but when you're in Erie, Comcast is not coming here, and neither is.
Well, do you understand? This is part of Comcast.
But I mean, they
had to
split.
break it off.
But it's how they split us.
Right.
We got the lesser.
Yeah.
We got like the D League.
Down, right.
I think I'm going to go back to my rotor antenna and shoot the lake and do that. And
There you go. You don't even need that anymore. You just put up a good digital antenna for about $80 outside, and you get everything.
Today's got digital too. Or?
Yep. They got. There's about
have a good day.
26 of them out there. Thanks for calling.
See, John. Yeah, you laugh at the things that are important today, but we've become so dependent on
What I was
entertainment
told,
that.
as you're speaking entertainment and that with that.
Go ahead, caller.
Hey, Cash.
Yes.
I think Verizon has a cable service, too, that we don't have it here in Erie, but like in Pittsburgh and that.
Yeah, they do, but
Fios.
the problem is, I know people that work there, and because we're who we are. If we were a bigger metropolitan area, we'd have it. But Verizon is doing it wherever they get the best bang for the buck. And Erie is so far down the list.
A lot of glitches in it right now, too. They're still working out.
But I mean, like in Allentown,
Yes.
different places,
Yes.
out east, they got it already. Where they have in Pittsburgh, Doc?
No, but my family down in Pittsburgh has it.
That's what I said. They got that. Yeah, see, that's because that's a big metro area. But by the time it gets to the Eries and the Titusvilles and the Warrens and all that, it's going to be a long time. Because I talked to people that work there, and they said Verizon just doesn't see right now it's too much of an expense.
They did some investigating. They took my friend out of what she was doing and put her in that department for a while, and there just wasn't enough get up and go for that. They wouldn't have paid off to move that to Erie right away. They want to do it, but not right this moment.
They'll wait till they.
Yeah, they're actually probably when this other company comes in too.
Yeah, it won't be for us. Doc, it's going to be a long wait, I think.
What will Velocity bring to Erie? They're starting up down there on 10th and Peach.
I really don't know. That's interesting.
I understand high-speed internet. You're going to get telephone service, and you're going to get cable TV.
Well, they will bring cable?
To my understanding, I don't know how.
Well, how do they bring cable in? I mean, what do they do?
The same way everybody else does. If they had a dish, they bring it in and they put it out over their lines.
I mean, they're going to be like Verizon Philos then?
Very, very close to it. Yep. Yes.
Maybe we have a possibility, but not immediately, but maybe in the near future.
Yeah, I don't know. They're piecemealing things together. Wherever they get the most, like I said, the squeaky wheel gets most grease.
Council gave them a lot of, we gave them a lot of economic impetus for their headquarters down on 10th Street. You know where they're going, right?
Yeah.
With the old Rothrock building.
Right.
We helped them out, but they haven't really come back to us and told us any update on their project. There was an article in the paper that they ran to a little snag, but even we have the League of Cities up here, and somebody was telling me that we were in this one class that there's a chance somebody else is going to bring maybe limited service theory like that.
Oh, I hope so.
But, if people keep yelling and screaming, they think they can do it, it'll happen. Here's the problem with wires, though. They told me that if they were to string up another company, it is a real cost factor.
Yeah, because you have to get the right of way, because some of those poles are owned by the electric, some are owned by the cable TV, some are owned by the phone company, and that just...
Can you do it wireless, though, or is that expensive?
You could do it nowadays, but it's a lot of trouble. The
So-
bugs aren't worked out all that yet either.
So there's your problem in a nutshell, is that if they come in there, they got to string new cable, and with Verizon, if they do it, it's going to be part of their upgrade. So that's not really to them. It's it's part of business. But for another company to come in here to challenge them, they'd have to be able to make sure that. And I'm not sure right now. I never read the last contract they signed. I'd have to see if there's an exclusivity contract for Spectrum.
You might have put that in there if you can't bring anybody else in here for a certain amount of time.
Possibility.
Yes.
We're going to have to go back to the old days, guys. Just sit on a porch with rocking chairs and a corncob pipe in our mouth and shotgun on our lap watching the garden grow.
There you go.
Oh my God.
That's my kind of person. On a weekend.
A mom and pa kettle,
Yeah. Simple things.
Well, it's hard to imagine how far we've come where now we pay for water that used to be free.
Right.
Our TVs that were free, we're paying almost 100, some people 160, 180, 200 bucks a month. It almost,
You pay for compost that God provides for free.
it almost makes you laugh, honest to God. You wonder what the heck happened to the world.
I know.
How did we get in this bind where,
All dollar signs.
yeah, now it's, 180 bucks a month for TV.
I know. That's way too much.
And that's not even everything.
And it would be different if it was good TV. It's not always good TV anymore.
Well, like my wife and I, she likes a Hallmark Channel and
Right.
a couple others. I like sports,
No, see, I like the Discovery Channel and History Channel, and I watch a lot more of the Smithsonian Channel. It's more historical.
I think, well, you can get that now. Can you get that in regular, or do you got to go to the bigger package? I can't remember.
National Geographic Channel now, too.
Huh?
You get National Geographic Channel, too.
Sometimes you used to have to go to the next level to get
next
them.
package, yep.
You do. I don't know how much ours is because Pam takes care of the payment.
You probably don't want to know. You'd be,
Oh, I know.
she don't want you to know because you'd be,
Well,
when I look at it, I get sick. I actually get sick to my stomach thinking,
The taxes, too, on that.
it makes it hard to want to retire. Now, you can't retire with all these expenses keep going up that way.
well, you got a choice. You can just say, I don't want it. And,
Right.
but, like my mother, she, at her age, all she wants is to be able to watch the Indians play, watch her couple movies, the Hallmark Channel, local news, and the way they hose the older people, and they go, what? They're not watching all this, like MTV and all that.
You're not sticking up for Spectrum. I just cut them down. But I understand now that it's a non-known fact to a lot of people. If you're a senior citizen and you'd never had boxes in your home, all right, say you just ran off your TV tuner, which you have, now they're making you get them, they're going to give you 2 boxes for free for a year.
Yeah, for a year.
They're going to waive an $11
Well,
fee.
that's why everybody was lined up at
I know.
McClellan, not McClellan, but Davison.
Right.
They couldn't get them fast enough, but that's only for a year.
That's it for a year.
Yeah, then you got to pay.
Pay, yeah. And it'll be more money. They'll try to make up what they lost.
I don't know what it is, $6 a month or whatever.
$11.
$11 a month
Per box.
Per box, that is.
Per box. Then if you get a DVR with that's even more money.
See, here's what got people mad. In the old days, like me, I brought 1 box in the house, and if I didn't care what I was playing upstairs, basically, I got basic cable upstairs.
Right.
Which, I didn't care because when I was upstairs,
You watch news, weather, and sports. And
news, weather, and sports, maybe some of the regular sports channels, but,
Right.
if, you had your main TV, but upstairs you could tap off your line.
Right.
And then what happened now, I found out that if you tap off those lines, it was throwing my power grid off. So they had to come in and disconnect it.
Yeah, well, you're pulling not so much, digital is very,
It was pulling some of my signal.
Yeah, because it's old, you're not using fiber, and you got to have
Yeah.
fiber and all that. Yeah, that's very true.
Yeah.
So what's happening, I was getting pixelation, I was getting,
Grounding, too, is another big one.
yeah, it wasn't grounding right, it was like going wacko. So they came in and they said, look, we'll leave it up if you want, but, I really should disconnect it. And then if you want in the future, we got to come back and you got to do something else because they came out and after they left, the TV was all nice and colorful again and bright.
Did you get the bill for them coming?
No, they didn't because if they're answering a complaint, news service you're going to pay. But if you got, whatever it is, but if you got a complaint about service, you know, they got to come on and check it, like.
Okay.
Because what I found out was, you know, like a lot of houses, they even did it for me. They tapped one line, they had a splitter, and that line went up through my cold air duct into the bedrooms upstairs. And one time when the kids were home, you know, they all had a TV, but basically the only one I had left was, you know, one in my room. And I didn't care about having, you know, a box on there. But now, even though your TV is cable ready, I guess.
Yeah, you got to have a box.
You got to have a box because that's another way. You don't have to send it. If you don't pay your bill, they shut your box off.
Let me ask you a question. If you got a cable ready TV and you call them, right? They won't hook it up for you, right?
No, because
you got to have the box, right?
You have the box. It's a whole different signal. It's all compressed in that box.
And they did it. They called because of theft, but
it's theft, and they don't have to roll a truck now to shut your service off. It used to be you get your basic cable.
But the bottom line is it's more money.
Yeah.
They're getting figure $11 a box, right?
That's not even. But people have DVRs too. That's even more money. You know, when I record something, it's more money.
Oh, I know. Being with my vision impairment, I couldn't hook the box up myself. So I asked how much if they could do it. Yeah, there'd be $49 per box to hook up.
Ridiculous.
What if you get new service? They still charge you?
I don't know what.
The house is never wired. They used to give it to you, but I don't think they do that anymore. Another thing, a lot of people still have the old AB system in their home.
Yeah.
That's getting phased out, but they can't use that AB. When they come to upgrade they're going to have to put
Well,
new
that
wire
took
in.
mine out years ago, but.
Yep.
I got one boob tube yet, so.
Yep.
How about DVRs? Now, if you have your own DVR, is that a problem?
I'm not sure if
I got their DVR. Okay,
but I'm not sure if you could record what's coming out of it. There might be.
You can't record on their box.
You can't, but
you have to bypass it somehow.
But if you paid for that already, and you could have split it off the TV to the DVR. But a lot of times there's something in that signal too, unless you got another type of device to pot it or pat it down or up or down. There might be too much signal to make it. It's very technical.
Well, yeah, they made it now, so you can't, like, if you want to tape the ball game,
right? You
can tape it on their system, but you can't tape it onto yours.
Right.
I'm going to get off Cass so somebody else can call, but hey, please give me a call, will you, Cass? I've been trying.
I've been sick.
Have been so dumb, I can't even.
Hey, Doc, I was sicker than a dog. That's why we didn't have a show last week. I'm still not really top of my game. I'm coughing like a little bit.
No, I feel you coughing, but I want to ask you a question about Lancaster and then some other things too. So we need to talk a little bit.
I just spent a week with some people from Lancaster. They were all up here for the league.
But hey, okay.
Well, but I'll give you a call, okay?
Yeah.
Thanks for the call.
See you later.
Yeah, the way they,
Yeah, what I was told too, that why they were doing this, we could have a la carte. They're not going to force these channels down your throat. If you say, I want to watch, what do I care about the Cartoon Network? I'm not sports-minded. You have certain things you like. My significant other, she likes the Olympics, so she would have her choice what she wanted. But I like a lot of the documentary stuff, like the.
But you know what's going to happen.
Yeah,
they're going to screw you.
You're going to say you're going to have this to get that.
Oh no, I mean even if you do it, they're going to make it so unequitable,
right?
That you're going to look and you go, you know what? For $5 more, I might as well get the whole package.
Okay, another pet peeve I was going to get to today. We've got 15 more minutes left. These lights in this town, Cass, are horrible.
What lights?
All the traffic lights. I mean, they don't have the driver in mind. I don't care if you're going to speed limit or whatever. Whatever happened to the day when the lights were synchronized? You start out.
I'm going to tell you a little joke.
Go ahead.
I used your line on Bill Pettit.
Yeah.
Okay? You know Bill Pettit.
Yeah, that's the guy from the state.
And I remember when I was in college, synchronization meant that I could leave, well, in those days,
12th and Weschler, let's say.
I lived on the west side of town, but if I came down to 12th Street from Cascade or Raspberry or something, I thought synchronization meant I could drive from, say, State Street all the way out to Villa College to pick up my then girlfriend, but now my wife, right?
Right.
So I thought, that should make me be out there in 10 minutes, right? Yeah. You know what they told me?
What?
That's not synchronization.
Traffic pattern, I guess they go on traffic pattern, computer.
It's not that your car should be able to hit every one. What they call synchronization is not what we think.
No.
So they may tell you if you complain that they are synchronized. And you know what?
Certain times of the day. My pet peeve is Peach Street. The light changes on Peach Street on 12th. to go next block. If everything's working out, you just drive the speed limit. You'll get every green light down there. But on certain days and certain times, that light changes, that one changes.
Well, that's why they tell you that's not synchronization the way you're thinking it.
Yeah, well.
You know, I've had this argument.
People, I sit in the car and watch. I try to drive cautiously, and they get so mad it just blows through the whole damn thing to get down there because people are fed up. They don't want to sit there. It's ridiculous. In Cleveland, I went to Cleveland is worse. You couldn't speed if you wanted. They accuse you of speeding. You just can't.
Well, you know, you got to be careful in Cleveland now.
It's cams. A friend of mine, he had my car. We were up there. This was 3 years ago.
Where'd they hit him?
Oh, some goofy place down the road, and it had my picture of my license plate on. They sent me a thing. I said, I wasn't even driving a car. Well, you're responsible for your car.
You have to pay it though, right?
Oh yeah, we went up there, and the guy shut the microphone off, and he kangaroo court. He says, well, he said, those are all working. He said, you weren't. I said, I can't believe we were going. The speed limit there was 25. They said we were going 40. I said, no way. You couldn't go 40 in there. Well, pay it, or then we'd have to come back for another hearing. So it wasn't even worth. We had to take a day's work off.
I have a Magellan.
Oh yeah, it tells you all that, right?
Yeah. Well, I don't know about I never used my telephone, but they may have it. But the Magellan started going nuts one day. My wife was in the car with me, and we're heading to the airport.
Right.
Because going to the airport is like going to the baseball park.
Telling you that the radar's on.
And so a little while ago, I was going to the baseball game. Same thing, like you're going to the airport.
Right.
And all of a sudden, we're outside of Cleveland, and it's going nuts, right? And Cam. All of a sudden, I kind of saw where I think it was, but, that surprised me.
Right.
Because then we come around what they call mini dead man's curve. Not the big one, but when you're almost down into town and you make that, go under the underpass and you come out, you're near the Progressive Field at the stadium, there's another one there. Yeah. And all of a sudden it's whoop, 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 and I'm going, whoa, what the heck is that? They pulled that one out of there, so I'm going, you got to watch now, because when I was in California one time, they were all over the place. That was 20 years ago. They had these cams. That was big then. So a lot of the towns now are using these cams. So yeah, if you get caught,
yeah, and we didn't. My friend Mike, we went to Cleveland. We went to a ham fest. This was 3 years ago. And what happened, why we got it into the town, we had to drop the guy who was with us. His grandfather was in Cleveland Clinic dying.
Yeah.
We dropped him off, did what we had to do, we come back and got him later. But I mean, the way they said we were going 40 miles on a 25-mile Cavs, there was no way in heck you could do that.
But I'll tell you where I'd like to see him in the city. We get complaints all the time from people who live on like 38th Street and stuff. Yeah. It probably would be a little wake-up call.
But the boy is the motorcycle guy. I call him Mike because that's what they call him.
Because, they don't have time to sit there, but...
They do. They've been doing a good job. I've been watching them.
But the cameras would be like...
Yeah.
Like on the Bayfront Highway where you get these stretches where... Like yesterday, I was coming back home. I was going a little... I'll be honest. I was going a little fast. But I got blown off the road and I'm going, do you really need to go that fast on the Bayfront Highway?
When I come to breakfast on Friday mornings, I come up off of... I come down 18th over Buffalo Road and I go up past Erie County Farms and around the back there and take 30. My God, I was standing still, I thought, and that guy was up and past me and he was up at the light of 38th Street by the time I got there. He wasn't going
one guy rumbled in my car. I felt the wind as it, rattled the cages, and I'm going, wow, that's a little... But I tell you got to be careful though. Like, we had a certain city employee, I won't tell you what department. He thought, he was on the turnpike, and he was following his friends who happened to have
radar detector.
No, like I got what do you call it? Triptych, like
Oh, so you can go through and they don't show the cards let you through. Yeah.
He didn't have one. He followed them. The city got the bill.
With the city vehicle?
I didn't pay it.
Yeah.
I don't pay for stupidity,
No,
but
you know better.
Yeah, I mean, they warn you, you got to pay boots. Well, everybody else, what if everybody else went 105 miles?
That's true, too. One other thing I want to cover, we've got about 10 minutes left. Businesses popping up in residential areas. And I'll tell you, I appreciate everything you guys did. I know you worked real hard on it, Jimmy Vinarski and Mr. Mursky. I happen to live right next door to it's a 2-car garage, but you get 4 cars in there, running a body shop on a residential area. 12 cars at a time. all hours of the day or night, grinders going. I thought I was at Raz Auto Body on the east side. Believe me, that's how big this operation was. And paint fumes. My family, I get 2 dogs and a significant other, and she's very allergic to that kind of stuff. And it was coming right in our house. We had to close the house up, even though we got air conditioning. We couldn't stand the smell in that. But Mr. Matt Puz upstairs is doing a tremendous job. He got to the bottom of it. Still, they're still doing stuff, but he says he put in to have them charged. So,
but the problem we have until we get our, we got this thing we submitted a long time ago.
Right.
It's in study right now that we want to have our own court, like.
I would say that'd be a good idea.
And so we can get things because
things aren't always as what they seem to look. But
do you remember when we were young? People that come from different countries and stuff,
right?
They have practices that it takes them a while to get used to.
The reason why this people here were from a different country, and the guy said, "Why you pick on me? You don't like me." I said, "I like you. I like your work." You
it's just that we don't do that here.
We don't do that. Oh, I don't do nothing wrong. I make a living. I said, "Not in a residential area. You go down on 18th Street or Buffalo Road and go do that." But and I hear it all over this place. There's all kinds of these little.
Well, they're all like. There's one near a couple of my friends' houses, and they went to talk to the guy. They said, "Look, the guy's pretty good, keeps it quiet." They said, he doesn't do any painting though.
Right.
And even though he's probably illegal, they're okay with that, as long as he keeps the cars off the street.
Right.
But when you got 20 cars on the street, and
and that's another thing. No license plates, or they're all smashed in. I called you that one day. I said, go tell the chief to go over and take a look. The car's like a wreck. I thought it was stolen. No plate on it.
That's one of the problems we got is that as the city has been winding down in a different direction, and years ago people wouldn't even think about doing that. The neighbors would all, if you had some guy doing that in your neighborhood, like I can remember people got mad. They used to complain about a certain business in town that was running it was like you can run a seamstress shop.
Right, alterations.
But you can't have people like signage and
right.
You can't have people parking on the street, has to be like
a business district
by appointment.
Right.
Well, you could do it in your house by appointment.
Right.
I mean, nobody can stop you from doing altering in your house.
That's not detrimental.
But you can't run as a business.
Right.
Like openly.
Right.
People can come and drop stuff off. And this guy was kind of like a collector. And people were getting a little antsy because.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it was starting to get a little bigger than just.
A collection, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean.
It was like a pack rat.
That's when you have to start, stepping in
I do
because.
That myself, but I try to keep it neat. I don't have it all outside of my house.
Because you know what? When you live in a residential area, you don't want cars in and out there all night honking. Not honking, but.
Grinding and away.
Yeah,
and all that.
it's your residential.
I don't mind anybody else's business. I got enough of my own business to mind, but it burns me up. This kind of thing happens.
Go ahead, caller.
Yeah, can you try to get somebody from the school district to come on your show so we can talk with them?
Yeah, I reached out to the president of their school board.
Right, Petronger.
Yeah, that and also Robbie
Fabrizi.
I reached out to him because I know him pretty good, and I told him, I said, it'd be nice if you come on and talk, just so people, even though it's not city business directly, but just so people can see what's going on, with the school district.
Yeah, we're paying school taxes. We want to talk to them.
Yeah,
that's right.
Well, they got their own TV station. I'm surprised they don't.
But they don't have no call in or anything. They sit there.
When I was on the school board, Billy
Brabender had it.
Billy Brabender and I used to have a show.
Right.
And
you got off of Mario's idea. I remember.
Yeah, and I think they should do it, but I will reach out to them again.
No, you demand that they do it.
Well, I can't demand. I asked them politely.
Citizens, we're paying taxes. Children to go to school. We don't even have children going to school, but we're still paying taxes, and we want to hear from them on your show.
I agree. If they don't want to come themselves, those two have some of the other directors.
I'll have my buddy Mel here, see if he can reach out to a couple he knows.
A couple I know. We'll get them down here for you. I agree 100%. You should work hand in hand. This stuff of that school district, it's a city. We're all taxpayers, and we're all working together trying to do a thing.
Well, I actually did reach out to him, Jay Badams, and I was kind of disappointed he didn't take up on me because,
he had his head
I have a history of being an ex-school director, and so there's a little bit of institutional knowledge I had that I would have loved to have been able to work with them because I know what they have to go through and I know what I have to go through on council.
Right.
And I would have loved to have, had them on, but I will reach out again to them, okay?
Thank you. In regards to senior citizens.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, and maybe, whether it be their school board director or if they want to send down the superintendent or anybody, I don't care. I'll ask them again.
Send them down. I am so tired of these people working, taking our tax money, and not giving us a word on anything.
But I just want you to know that I did reach out to them once. I've reached out to a lot of groups. A lot of people are a little gun shy to come on here.
Well, they shouldn't have that job.
Right. You're a public official. You should be in the public eye.
People think I'm nuts for being on here because I said
to get to you. That's why, like Kaz's numbers in the book and everything, you can get him anytime.
People get nuts. They think I shouldn't be on there because they said, why do you want to get on and take a beating? I go, I don't take a beating. People are just asking. They ask legitimate questions.
Yes, you try to answer for them. That's why I feel about it too.
Money is going too.
But hey, I'll ask them again and see if I have my buddy Mel here squeeze a couple too, see if we can shake them out a little bit.
I'll go to their houses and visit them.
Squeeze them, Mel.
I will do that, girl. I will do that. God bless you and amen. We got to do this. We got to keep this together. We're going to lose out.
Yeah, I think, like what's going on in the city. Well, I'll tell you this, council is planning to go out into the neighborhoods, like we said before. So just hang in there and we will be out concerning, how they're going to do the sweeps and everything. Because we do have a study session this Thursday. So just stay tuned, okay?
All right. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you for your call.
I think, with what's going on in the city now, we have to start.
We've got to band together. Mill Creek don't seem to want anything to do with this. Harbor Creek don't want anything to do with it.
Well, they did when we if you notice when we threatened to close our schools down.
Yeah. Well, they don't want them. People
all of a sudden they wanted to help us.
Right.
And that's wrong because
we're talking about closing schools now. Now I understand, and I work for the school district almost 40 years, doing a lot of different hats in that thing, and the buildings are selling that. All I could say. Come talk to somebody who knows those buildings before you try to buy them.
I will say this, this is a great city. I mean, it's in trouble, okay? But, we got some good people. And, unfortunately, we get branded certain ways, but like this lady, she's been calling up for a long time,
Good. I like these people. These people you call here, they're not belligerent. They tell you like it is, and that's what I like.
Well, they got a right to, even if they get belligerent a little bit, they got a right to, because you know what? When they don't get answers to, they pay, basically the city is the people that encompass it. We can sit here and talk about, we're elected by them, we get paid by them, okay? And, we do have an obligation to tell them what's going on. Because, we're probably going to be at this for about 20 years.
At least. Let's just hope.
We were talking with some people from Pittsburgh at the convention, and they were telling us, at the conference this week, and they were telling us how, you think Pittsburgh, happened overnight, but it was like a 20-year project. Mm-hmm. And, all of a sudden it was little things, and then you wake up one morning and you see a big thing, and all of a sudden you think everything's changing. But it's changing slow, We're going to have Hammett and Erie Insurance doing things, and with all the nice development that's going on, it still comes down to the neighborhoods, though.
I'll tell you.
This neighborhood has still got to be redeveloped.
That's very true. And the people around here, I'll tell you, PMC Hammett, since they took over, I have another complaint against them. The place is really professionally run. I've had to stay there a couple times. That's why I was supposed to be here a couple different times. And they treated me with respect, and I was well taken care of. I can't say nothing wrong about the place. Some of these places are clean. A lot of these hospitals aren't clean like they used to be. Yeah. But they really stepped up to the plate.
But now, we got to go into the neighborhoods.
Inside and out.
We have to go into the neighborhoods too now, though.
Yeah.
We have to start renovating them. 1 minute.
That's it.
Well.
We had a good time, Kaz. I'll definitely come back. I don't know when. I won't come back right away, but.
That's okay. We'll see you sometime this week or.
Yeah, right.
Not this week. I'll be off this week.
Yeah, you're going to go away or. Yeah, you're off nobody's on this week on the other.
Yeah, we'll see in maybe a couple weeks, so.
Yeah.
With that, tune in again next week, and
Major Mel signing off. It's been my pleasure being here with you, Kaz.
And Councilman Kwiatkowski. See you.
Now you're gonna get. He's probably gonna call you upstairs.
Where are you going now?
Ladies and gentlemen, you have been watching the Taxpayers Hotline Show on Erie's own Government Access, Channel 9.